So thanks, everybody. I appreciate your coming. My name is Patrick Schmitz. I'm Associate Director of Research IT and the Program Director for Berkeley Research Computing. We had another town hall this past spring. Some of you were here for that, where we talked about the new faculty computing allowance that we're offering through Berkeley Research Computing. Today, we're excited to talk about a couple of other new services that we're offering through the Research Computing program, as well as the new Research Data Management program. Research IT that we're all part of, associated to, is a unit within the Office of the CIO. We exist to advance research through the use of innovative IT services. So we work with you. We're happy to partner with you, as well as providing core services that you use in the course of your work. Some of those services that we provide, you may be familiar with. Berkeley Research Computing, obviously, is the reason you've come today. Research Data Management as well. Those are the two of the biggest services on campus right now that we're providing in support of research. As well, some of you may be less familiar with the Digital Humanities program that we work closely with the Dean of Arts and Humanities, Dean Cascardi, to support a program that's a Mellon-funded initiative to advance digital humanities on campus. We think it's important to be supporting the full range of research, not just so that everybody benefits, but as well because of some of the synergies and crossover ideas that happen as a result of being in touch with faculty all over campus. We also have a long history of supporting campus museums through the Museum Informatics program. We provide collection space, which is a collections management service. It's software that we developed as part of a community source model and is used by museums around the world. It's used by 5 of the larger collections here on campus at this point. So to give you an idea of some of the things we're looking to do beyond what we provide today, we've done a couple of analyses working with faculty to look at where Berkeley compares, where Berkeley sits compared to our R1 peers around the country, and what priorities the faculty sets on new services. So some of the things we're looking at here, data analysis services that are associated to research computing but have their own needs. This is something that we'd be working closely with the D-Lab that already provides a lot of work in this area. Data visualization and GIS services. There's some pockets on campus that do an excellent job of this, but it's not always available to the entire campus community. So we're looking at how we can fill gaps there. Web publishing and collaboration has long been an issue for research projects and things like that. We've got some work going on right now in partnership with a number of other units on campus to see what can be done with that. Software licensing and distribution is a perennial problem, as many of you know. And then there's also a service that you may not think of taking central support for because many research projects have developers, your graduate students who've developed computer science skills and are working on these applications. But when you need some additional architectural support or some guidance, help with integration, best patterns so that you've got a sustainable architecture, or when you want to scale something up to provide it to a larger community, we offer consulting services around that. And in fact, we've often partnered with individual research projects being written in as architects, sometimes as developers, or just providing initial advice and guidance to folks on campus. So within Berkeley Research Computing, we offer a set of services that together are designed to cover the broad range of campus faculty. The high-performance cluster, Savio, supports those with traditional high-performance computing needs. And we'll hear a lot more about what's happening in that area today from Krishna Muriki, who's going to talk about some of the new things happening there. We also offer a Condo model, which some of you may be familiar with. It's a model whereby researchers can use research funds to purchase compute hardware and contribute it into shared infrastructure, where the program, the Berkeley Research Computing, takes care of all of the racks, power, cooling, storage systems, high-speed, low-latency interconnect, and the administrative support for that. All of that is provided for free. You just contribute the hardware. You own that hardware. You have priority access to that hardware, but free cycles are offered into a larger pool that the rest of the campus can benefit from. So that's been a great program. We've had a lot of success with that. We've much more than doubled our initial contribution that we made to the cluster through faculty contributions, and it continues to grow at this point. We're also providing cloud support services. A lot of folks don't need traditional high-performance computing, but are looking at scale out, whether it's using commercial services or some of the national centers. You're going to be hearing more about a launch of some new support services there and what we can do to help those of you who have research models that fit that cloud compute model closely. And we're just getting started with some consulting and experiments in an area we're calling virtual workstations, which is characterized as analytics environments on demand. These are for folks who don't need quite the compute power of a cloud or high-performance computing solution, but need a good deal more than what they can do on their laptop. They, in many cases, also need something that's a lot easier to use than a high-performance computing environment. They want something that's a little bit more turnkey. It's often Windows-based, has a set of software tools installed and available to them. And so we're looking at ways to make these kinds of services available. We've got some experiments that we're just getting going around providing different stacks there and seeing what it will take to do that. Again, like so many of the things we're doing, that's in partnership with a number of other folks who are experimenting and looking into this as well. This one in particular, the library has been doing a lot of looking at, along with the D-Lab. Knitting this all together, of course, is a consulting effort. If we just provide the raw services, toss them over the fence and say you're on your own, it's unlikely that everybody can be effective with them. So a significant part of what we provide is consulting, whether it's initial consulting to get you routed to the right compute model and resources that you need, or help with those individual resources to ensure that you are effective with them, that they're actually serving your research needs. So that's an important aspect of what we do. And naturally, we're not the only ones doing that on campus. Neither do we have any interest in subsuming those efforts. It's really important that you understand and that we understand that there's a large community. There's a lot of centers out there ranging from the D-Lab and the library to individual research units and departments that have folks that have traditionally supported research in their areas and are really expert in those domains. We're not trying to cover all of that. What we're trying to do is help to knit those folks together into a more effective network and community of research support, and to understand where there are gaps that they can't fill that a central service like ours may be able to. To give you some idea of just a few of the partners that we work with on campus, you'll see that we've got everything from the ETS folks. The lab has been a really important partner, the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, not least because of the fact that without them we wouldn't have been able to bring up the Savio supercompute cluster in as short a period as we were able to. They also have deep experience in this area, but their connections as well outside to other folks around the country as well as to the lab researchers has been a source of considerable expertise and help with what we're doing. A lot of the other centers on campus that represent a lot of different domains you'll see here. One of the things that one of the areas we consider an important partner is IST. We're basically peered with IST under the Office of the CIO. We can often help to make it easier to use their services, to understand their services, and to put them together into a solution for you. So we're often a broker between researchers and the IST services, and we're happy to do that. So that's just an overview of some of what Research IT does and we're interested in the Research Computing program. As I said, today we're going to start out with an introduction to some of the new services that we're providing in the high-performance computing area around Savio from Krishnamurthy, follow it by Aaron Kulich, who's going to talk about what we're doing with cloud consulting and helping people to make effective use of that. And then we have Chris Hoffman here, who's also in Research IT, who's going to talk about a just launched program in research data management to provide a lot of resources working with the library to make available the kinds of tools that you need to understand how to effectively manage your research data. So without further ado, Krishna, thanks very much again for coming. One note in the digital humanities space, I forgot to mention this, as an example of some of the things we're doing, there's a reading group that we hold every 2 weeks down in Earl Warren Hall. It draws a variety of people from around campus. We're generally exploring a variety of topics that relate to different kinds of IT associated to research. Today we've got Elizabeth Honig from the Art History Department who's going to be talking about how she's doing digital scholarship and using tools to advance the study of art history. So if you're interested in that, talk to any one of the Research IT folks here. But in general, there's a lot of really exciting stuff that we talk about, and we'd love to have more people come and share ideas in that reading group. Thanks very much.